And we're recording. So here we are. It is the 24th. 24th, is it?
24th of October.
24th of October. It's old Sergi's birthday on Sunday. Hey, knocking it on, mate. Knocking it up. Anyway, we wanted to do a sort of another end of week little catch up. He's over for the evening. We're going to have some dinner. We've got the old, as we always do now, a little of vino going. And we've got a couple of little interesting things that he's pulled up. But one of the there's a few things I wanted to go over just really quickly. Number one, and we've been watching a couple of these. I highly recommend for any musicians that are out there that do actually listen to this. I know there's Tom in the UK. Nice one, Tom. And check out Mark Devlin's stuff. I know a lot of people have talked about it in the past, but Mark did a bunch of stuff in Australia last year. And if you ever want to work out why certain people get to a certain place and others don't, I think Mark, good on you, Marky, he explains it probably better than anybody. So I highly recommend you go and check that out. And I'll put a couple of links again in the descriptions, just like normal. But it just kind of shows you how deep the infiltration really is. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing was, where are we? Yeah, we did a lot. Obviously, the other week we did a thing about the good old yellow and blue again. And Kate Emma, who follows us on the channel, she mentioned about the old Soviet 50s and 60s buildings. So straight away we thought, yeah, it all kind of makes sense again. Don't know why we didn't pick up on that on the first place, really. But it was only when we looked into it, how many empty villages and cities in those areas there are, and how convenient they would be to be used as a giant stage set to have a bunch of people running around with plastic guns, right? So anyway, we've got some pictures we want to show you about that. But before we get into that and what old Sergi has pulled up on a few things, with just interesting things, one to do with the wonderful organisation that begins with W and the third letter is O, what they want to roll out now for the old people here in France. I thought this was quite funny, and you can see it up on the screen here, with old Mr. Sarkozy, right? And people have probably heard about that, and there's probably a lot of people jumping up and down going, yeah, look, they're going to take one of their own down. Yeah, right. Well, no, I'm sorry, that is not the case. So as you can see here, French ex-president Sarkozy begins jail sentence for campaign finance conspiracy. So here's the old mush here with his mate, this one here, on which I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of in a minute. Old Carla. So anyway, apparently he's been given 5 years in jail for his connections with, I think it's Libya, isn't it? Yeah. With Libya, right? And how he's basically used other money to basically run his campaign. Yeah, Libyan money. Well, if you actually think this clown's going to jail, there's no way in a million years this bloke's going to jail. And I'm going to throw in a couple of pictures because, of course, he was another World Economic Forum guy. And he's doing all the signs and the symbols and all this kind of stuff. But I thought this was quite amusing because he's apparently the first person since World War II, certain group of people, collaborations, leader, Philippe was jailed for treason in 1945. Has any French ex-leader gone behind bars? This bloke is not going behind bars, right? I can tell you that right now. So anyway, it says here, where is it? Further down, this is quite funny. There's the old 9/11, right? So yeah. He says he'll be on the top floor isolation wing, top floor which will measure 9 to 11. There it is, right? There's your numbers again. 120 square foot. Had earlier been said he would be taking a term in another wing for vulnerable people. But by the way, he is going to have a toilet, a shower, a desk, a small electric hob, a small TV for which he will have to pay 14 euros a month to rent, right? Which is almost comical in itself, to be totally honest.
Regular visits from his fella.
Oh yeah, and regular visits from old Carla, right? Apparently. So here's a couple of, quite stern-looking faces. It's quite funny actually because in this picture here, this person here They look kind of round about the same height, which of course they're actually not.
Because he's only 5'4".
Yeah. This person is considerably taller than this person here. But anyway, I just thought it was quite funny because every now and again, as we know, they have to roll one of these things out to again get people to tap in and to buy in, and this is him being arrested here, or not arrested, but because he already knew he was going to go to jail. And the old police blokes, they don't give a toss, right? It's like, whatever. And all the photographers, and apparently there was 100 people all clapping, shouting out his name.
Go back to that photograph.
That one there.
Yeah, just look at the hand positions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, particularly.
Yeah.
You look at some of the early 1944 videos.
Yeah.
Without mentioning anything.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to get taken down.
It's all very symbolic again.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this bloke here has apparently been married to this one here. So when you open up a little bit about this one, of course, a model, right? Well, we know all about the old Victoria's Secret models, don't we? So anyway, there's the old symbols there. Of course, it's always the same story. It's impossible to find them not doing this. And I know a lot of people, I mean, my old girlfriend used to do this, because she'd obviously seen this, not this person, but this kind of thing, and thought it looked cool, right? Anyway, we'll just look at this one first. Of course, as soon as you get this, you know exactly, and there's rocking a tidy old set of shoulders there. And then you take a closer look at this, got the old can opener jaw. I mean, I'm just saying what I'm seeing in front of me, and something a little bit dodgy going on there. But once you start seeing the connections, and I think again Mark Devlin really pulls the connections together between a lot of these people, and why they are sort of paired up. I mean, I don't know how old this person is, 50 something, I don't know, knocking about with this bloke who's 70. Maybe it's something to do with all that parliamentary money he's got hidden under the bed or something like that.
I think she's 55.
55. Oh, 55. That's 55. Right. You had a look. Yeah. But I think it's another interesting thing, because this is how they roll out these little stories. And if you remember, a little while ago, we did a thing about a certain person called Wolf, who was at the UN, talking about how a certain person from the EU should be thrown in jail for various things that this person knew about the old 91 divot magic solution. Well, of course, that's not turned into anything. So these are all little muses that they throw out.
Well, it's like the Le Pen.
Oh, yeah.
saga, isn't it?
Yeah.
And being convicted. Again, something to do with the financial side of things, where we looked at that before, and possibly being put under house arrest for 4 years. And
that's right.
She's walking around Paris and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Supporting, because she can't run, so she's supporting her deputy.
Yeah.
Right, for the elections, which will be in 2027.
Yeah.
So we've got another 2 years. And she'll support the deputy of the party, the RNL. But she will still be the one running it.
That's right, yeah, exactly. And of course, that, if you being an ex-policeman officer, you would know that unless these people worked for a certain club, anybody like us, we'd never get away with it. They throw the key away, right? So one of the things that Mark talks about these lifetime actors, people like Bonio and all those clowns, right? And what they do is they big them up, they make them famous, and then they do their real job, which is basically coercing the public. So all these people that you see, these bods, all these famous people on magazines, they're all part of it, and this is how they're able to get people to basically do the things they want them to do. But I thought that was interesting that would just pop up, quite. And you've only got to look through all of these so-called models, all these pages of these models. You can see that they all do the same old stuff and everything. And once again, I'm not saying that they're not good at what they do. They have to be. But again, I think this is a very suspect-looking person. I would probably suggest that if we did a little bit more And it's quite funny that it's got man written in the background there. Look, Lux Man.
Lux Man.
It's a bit unfortunate, love. Bit unfortunate. But anyway, that was one of the things that we wanted to look at with that. And you've written a list. Get your list out.
Well, there was a few.
It's only
things,
a few bits and bobs this time. It's nothing over the top
that we looked at. It's just what flashes up. And you were talking about the Who again, and we're not talking about the
not the band,
band.
The other lot, you know.
I sent you a thing that I was reading that came up on La Vie Chrétienne in regards to something that's going to be implemented. It's been developed by the World Health Organization and proposed by La Poste.
Yeah.
To contribute to the maintenance and health and autonomy of the elderly in France, a tool developed in all territories in connection with hospital centres and whose ambassadors are nothing but your factors. So they're going to be supporting you. So again, I've got to do a bit more research. Is it going to be one of these online things that we've got to look at through the La Poste site, where you can get loads of the documentation to maintain the well-being of the elderly over here? But the system's called iCope.
iCope.
iCope. I-C-O-P-E.
Yeah, iCope.
On the translation.
Probably won't bring it up now because we want it. But anyway, basically what he's saying is, here it is, integrated care for older people approach. So this is a new thing that's coming out, right? So apparently they're so concerned about the elderly. Now, if you remember, not so long ago, the kind of shit that they were pulling on the elderly, integrated care for older people approach, right? When we age, numerous blah, blah, blah changes and occurs and so on. So you can read it yourself. But of course, if you believe that these things are actually put in play because they care about you, they don't. And this is going to be another one of these systematic things where a lot of very gullible people will fall for this and probably put themselves in even more danger than they realise that they're in the first place. I'm just saying, because we know that these clowns are not to be trusted. So I thought that was interesting that popped up. But you were saying to me the other day...
it was the dates where implemented iCope, a part of the universal health coverage. It's one of the action areas that the UN Decade of Health Aging 2021 to 2030.
Yeah, so there you go. So look, here we go, right? A decade of healthy aging. Now just remember that. What exactly did they start pumping into people in 2021, right? Well, we all know, don't we? Hey, all those people that bought that ticket to go and see Britney Spears, there's a lot of people that we know, you're just saying, from news that we know about around here that aren't here anymore, right? So
I'm going to be following
areas of UN decade, so UN healthy aging 2021 to 2030. Well, we know what 2030 is all about. The good old agenda.
The Global Aging Population Survey, I'm going to be following this site. As I said, I've got to do a bit more reading into it. But when you look at it, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, maintaining things, stuff like that. But I mean, what are people going to do? It's going to, there we go. Having more than one condition, disease increase, manifest of cognitive decline, limited mobility, hearing loss, malnutrition, vision impairment, depressive symptoms, urinary incontinence and falls. Well, a lot of that happens to the elderly anyway, as we know, with our own experiences with people that we know. It's just like now,
but do you notice,
how's this going to be monitored?
But also, do you notice in all of this here as well, there's no mention of heart problems.
No.
There's no mention of strokes.
No.
There's no mention of Alzheimer's or dementia.
No.
Right? Okay. So this is just another one of these initiatives to start basically duping old people into thinking that these clowns are on your side. And we can say quite honestly, especially like at our end of where we live, not where old Serge lives up there, a good, I don't know, 90% of older people that we actually know here and in England are either ill or gone or departed, left the realm. So And all in this short period of time. So isn't it funny how this would come out right after the rollout? Not on the 2020, but the 2021 up to 2030. But I thought that was a really good find, and that's going to be something for old Sergio to keep his eye on, right? Non-surgical management and all this kind of crap, right? But again, these bods here are not to be trusted under any which way circumstance.
But it goes down to things that have been spoken. Sorry, I didn't mean to
interrupt,
about things that have been spoken to before and all that. Is like particularly building up to winter. Coming. And even though it's been piddling it down with rain, isn't it, for the last 9 days, which we've really needed because we had such a hot summer this year. I've already seen an increase of the elderly up my area, around Brive and Obja and Teleson, of them wearing face masks.
Oh, you got the
because the old scare factor has been put back in. Go and get your flu jab. Go and get your booster. Go and get this.
Booster.
Yeah, your rooster booster. And it's like you said, 2 of your friends that you know that had just come back from a cruise, so they couldn't have been that ill, came back and they've been ill.
Yeah.
Since they've been back. But what have they done? They've booked themselves in next week to go and have the flu and the boosters and all the other types of things.
Yeah, and they have both been, this lady friend of ours, she's been rough for quite some time and has had all kinds of collapses and dizzy spells, and she's had to have the old heart monitor and all this kind of stuff.
Jabbed up more than the dartboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more pricks than a second-hand dartboard. But this business of people thinking it's coincidence, I'm afraid, no, it isn't. And we bumped into another couple that we know that are a couple of Americans here, and he's the guy. I never talked about it, but I spoke to him about the yellow and blue a few years back. And he said to me, "You think it's all fake?" Then I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You find me some genuine pictures, and I'll cross your palm with some money, right?" And he said, "I'll take your money." And I was like, "All right, then go on, then try." And of course, he couldn't find any genuine pictures, but we bumped into them. They asked how we were, just me and Mum, down at the old shops. And he was telling us about one of their neighbours had just keeled over. Another one had fallen down the stairs and broken her hip or something. He just said, "Seems to me that everybody we know around us is dropping." And I was like, "Well, yeah," but I didn't say anything because he probably would argue the case that it's all coincidence. But that was another interesting thing. But yeah, our friends, unfortunately, are they're going for it again, even though Mum's tried to explain a few things to them just to be on the safe side. And I said, well, don't be too surprised if perhaps next year, sadly, one or both of them aren't around anymore. But that, of course, is just our speculation. And all we can do is really bring up some of these subjects, you know. What I was going to say as well, quickly, is on the subject of the certain 19, the first and 9th letter of the alphabet. There's a brilliant, and I'll put again the link in the description, there's a brilliant one that old Jarid Boosters has just done on the Crimean War. And quite interesting because it's very similar to what Whisper Jack, big old shout out to Jack, did on the American Civil War, where things just do not look correct. I highly recommend you watch it and listen to what he's got to say, because quite ironically, of course, where was the so-called conflict, the Crimea, taking place? And of course, again, it's Russia and the yellow and blue, which is quite ironic. There seems to be an awful lot of stuff was going on there at a certain amount of time. But when you look at the pictures that he shows, the questions again that you could ask: how did they survive out there? Where are all the trees? What were they eating? Why are they wearing these ridiculous uniforms? Why is everybody so clean? Why are there no pictures of anybody actually doing anything apart from standing around? And it's literally a carbon copy. What's going on supposedly now is a carbon copy of that, which is just wash, rinse, repeat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. So check out some of Jared's stuff because it's really good. And this particular one was just like what Jack did about the American Civil War, and how a lot of those pictures just do not look real, to be totally honest with you. So anyway, that was a couple of things that we got on the list here.
My other one that I spoke to you about, and we won't say much, these are just like flicking through things which I've looked at today, which made me chuckle.
Should have gone to Morrison's.
No, we'll come back to that one. Should have gone to Morrison's. Comet Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
Comet Lemon. And some of the pictures, if you're a bit of a stargazer, you should be able to find some of the pictures of Comet Lemon. You can tell some of the ones, as far as I'm concerned, that have been photoshopped or they've been adapted and stuff like that. I'm not saying that there's not comets out there.
Oh, it's yeah.
2 M's on it.
And of course they say, what they say, don't go being a lemon now. Don't be a lemon. Right, anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. C2025 AS Lemon.
A6.
Oh, sorry, A6.
Comet Lemon.
Yeah. Because it was discovered by Mountaintop Lemon, whatever it was.
Observatory or whatever.
Yeah. If you missed it, and even though they said that we were all going to be able to see it, but you wouldn't be able to see it with the naked eye, binoculars or... binoculars. Here's your Star Trek shit again, isn't it? Like you said, it looks that one. Oh, that one that you've just gone past. Look, that looks like a sperm. That one. Like
yeah. Look at this. Yeah. I mean.
Well, if you missed it, guys, you're not going to be able to see it until the year 3175.
Right. So let's open this up on a tab here. My machine's a bit slow, obviously, but I mean, come on. Anybody that thinks this is a real picture, again, I mean, look at it. This is ridiculous. I got a drum kit with this sparkle on it. This is the stupid. This is again some of the stupidest crap that you could possibly pull on people. And of course, again...
It's these ones where I've seen a number of these where... so I know people can't see me pointing in it, where you've got these very prominent images, like with the rock faces, there's one with a castle, and then you look at the same photograph...
So you see how small it is as well, so they don't want you to zoom in.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Let's have a quick look.
That one there with the silhouetted trees.
There's a big one there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that there aren't comets out there. I'm just saying that people jump on the bandwagon. That one
Bad request. Open. That one might open. What a surprise, right?
Comet Lemon lights up the skies. So, absolutely brilliant. I mean, look at this one. Look. Sunbright Comet Lemon. Flies through the Aurora Borealis. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Apparently, you can see it in broad daylight as well on the autumn skies, right?
Yeah.
See if this one opens up here. Right. I mean, come on. I mean, you can see this is not real, right? And I don't know.
Yeah. So that one just interested me.
It's an ongoing thing,
with the thing that's
there you go.
Going on.
Look at this. Yeah. Look at this. I mean, even the trees don't look real in that picture. This is a CGI picture.
Yeah.
Those aren't real palm trees, are they? That is stupid.
Yeah, just superimposed.
Superimposed, right?
And it's like the skies here, they're all clear. They're all...
Yeah, except whenever something comes over and we... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just an artist's impression.
Yeah, but this is the old impression thing that you talked about before. Yeah. How they show on the old NASA that the artist's impression again, which of course they have to show the old blue marble and all this kind of crap, and it would be beautiful to think that this was actually like this, but the reality of it is that I mean, this is just stupid at the end of the day.
Anyway, that was just a little snippet.
Yeah, but we're going to do a little bit more into that anyway, because there's going to be some good stuff comes.
The other one, if you've seen on the old BBC and international news, that the Louvre Museum was robbed.
Yeah,
7 minutes in and out.
So you think about it. In a week, we've had one of the most, not impregnable, but one of the securest museums in the world, the Louvre in Paris, has been robbed, right? And an ex-president is going to jail. This is in the same week, right?
Yep.
In the same week. So anyway, over to you.
So, well, I mean, there's not a lot on it, apart from the police are hoping to recover the jewellery before the criminals break it down and try and sell as many of the pieces off as possible, because there's a tiara that was worn by Princess. Did I say Eugenie or Eugenie? Princess
Something like
Eugenie of France. And the French government has said that
Oh yes, uninsured.
that all the items that have been stolen are uninsured with private insurance.
So yeah, so here we go. This is a great one, right? And of course, I mean, why did they build a pyramid on top of the museum? I.e., the one you can see right here. This is on PBS News. So why did they build a pyramid above it? They could have built a dome, right? No, they had to build a pyramid because they want you to know exactly who is in control of all these things. So here he says, the Louvre reopens 3 days after Jules Heiss, as director officer, to resign over terrible failure. So the director, is his fault, is it? That is stupid, right? That is a stupid thing. Jewels stolen from the jewels stolen from the Louvre, worth an estimated 102 million, Paris prosecutor says, and as old Serge just said, uninsured.
Yeah, uninsured with private insurance. That's what the government has said.
Which is, of course, is ridiculous because anything that is being put in that would automatically be covered by their insurance. And when you look at it, so here we go. Look, the loot. Thieves made away with a total of 8 objects, including a sapphire, a diadem, necklace, a single earring from a set linked to the 19th century Queen's Mary, Amelie, and whatever, right? And I read somewhere that they did it in 7 minutes.
Yeah, Eugenie's. There you go. One piece Eugenie's emerald set with 1,300 diamonds in it.
Oh no! Look at this. So this is great, right? Of course, this is PBS, so it's American, right?
Yeah.
Public broadcast. Security overhaul. All this comes after Macaroon announced new measures in January for the Louvre, complete with a new command post and expanded camera grid that the culture minister says is being rolled out. So this, whatever you want to call him, I won't say too much, but this knobhead, he's already saying, "Oh, we got to look after this place because the security's not great, and coincidentally, the place gets knocked off." I should calm down.
No, don't. I saw
Prosecution of headline words like that. The Mona Lisa, blah 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 blah, seems elsewhere in a 33,000 object labyrinth. You couldn't make it up if you tried.
I said read some of the bits on here, but
yeah.
But there we go. I mean, that's just another thing to follow and see what the 33,000 labyrinth. But I mean, how many films have been made around the Louvre?
Oh yeah, well now? Of course, the Da Vinci Code.
Yep.
The Da Vinci Code, all that kind of stuff.
But again, another one to keep your eyes on and see what gets published in regards to that.
Look at this. It says here, the theft steps away from the Mona Lisa and valued at more than 100 million. But it says here, we did not detect the arrival of the thieves soon enough. Well, what kind of statement, as an ex-policeman officer, what kind of statement is that? We did not detect, excusez-moi, monsieur, we did not detect the arrival of the thieves soon enough. Well, if you had, you would have caught them, wouldn't you? Right? Yeah. Nobody robbed the Louvre. It's all made up again, right? Due to chronic understaffing and not enough resources for protection, with too few eyes on too many rooms. Well, I mean, come on, hire some people. Apparently, this country is full of unemployed people. It is just hilarious when you look at. So there's two big little stunts that have been pulled over here this year, which is quite interesting.
The last one.
The last one.
Last one before you go on to your bit was the old Morrison's thing, which I thought was really funny.
Oh yeah, should have gone to Morrison's.
That have got 497 stores nationwide in the good old UK. And I was like, well, what's this all about then? Because it said end of a decade. Made it sound like, I thought, well, they're all going to close down. But they're going to be the first supermarket chain in the United Kingdom to go to electronic shelf labels, ESLs, and the company that's going to be installing them, Fusion Group, they're going to put 1.8 million of these electronic labels into the 497 stores. So no longer will you be able to look at a price label and go, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, now I look at that, it's all going to be these electronic things. And I looked at them, didn't I? I had a look at
and
them
the funny thing is, butting in there, as you said, we've had those here for years.
Yeah.
Right. So is Britain that far behind then? So like he said here, Serge, here it is. There it says Morrison's to set out roll out of 10.8 million of these little electronic gadgets.
Did I say 10.8 million?
10.8 million, right? Yeah. So he gets straight on there to have a look where you can buy them.
You can buy them from Temu.
And how much they are, right?
You can buy them from Temu for $10.19.
Perhaps that's why they're gonna buy them.
Or you can go on to other sites and you can buy 1,000 of them, and you can buy one off of one of the companies that's on there for £99.99 with euros with €6 delivery, and they're all going to be digitally run.
Yeah, here they are, right? So here we go, Green Farm, right? Okay, that's just a label, but here it says here Vision Group. So you've got this little doohickey here, and then when you look at the electronic ones, which is basically, I guess, these ones here, right? And we watch the girls do it in the shops here. They just go around, they type the number in, redoes the barcode and so on. But again, this is how everything's going electronic, and this is how they're going to monitor every single thing that you do, which they've been doing for years anyway.
But how many of these have we seen pulled off?
Oh yeah, most of them don't work, do they?
Not working. They don't flash. You just get a barcode that's on there, and when you try and match the barcode up with the product,
it doesn't always match.
It doesn't always work. And like you said, and I know people might think, well, we're just waffling about shit here, but it's not. It's important.
Well, it's
because it's the control side of things again.
Yeah.
They're controlling how you're looking at the items that you want to buy. It's like this, I know a lot of people, they find it a necessity to buy online and either have it delivered or go and collect it from the store because it's simpler for them with the lives that they're actually leading. But is it not good to pick up a product and look at it and make sure that it's what you actually want? And how many times have we looked at these over here and the code that's on the actual item doesn't match the code that's on the thing?
That's right, yeah.
And like you were saying, it's not about it's about the labelling now. So if they increase something, they're not going to change the producers of it.
No.
Not going to change the label that's on there.
No, the barcode on the item is linked to the barcode that is on this electronic label thing. So if you take up a tin of beans and it's gone up by 3p, the barcode doesn't change on the tin of beans. The barcode is relevant to this label here that says £1.50, right? Okay, and then people go, well, that's a really good idea, isn't it? Because obviously people, and again, if you look at it from a the world is real and nothing is bad point of view, it works really well. Until
the electric goes out.
Until it all goes terribly wrong again.
Or the internet goes down, which I saw in Intermarché where they had a power cut.
Yeah.
The generators didn't kick in. So none of the labels, I'm leaning back here so it might not pick it up. None of the labels showed any prices.
No.
And the tills are closed and there's all these people standing there waiting to pay for their goods. And nothing's working. Now, I know we can't odds power cuts and you can't odds all these different things, but, you've talked about it a lot more than I have. You've got to be prepared, you've got to be ready for things.
Yeah. Well, we got a prime example of that, but just quickly to finish this one up about should have gone to Morrison's. How we look at it, and it's not about saying what people have got to understand, but common sense, again, has been eradicated over the last, I would say, at least the last 20 years. The what if scenario. What if this happened? What if that happened? Apparently, Paris just got hit a couple of days ago, didn't it? We've had some bad weather here and everything, right? Tornado, yeah. But what if? What if this happens? And what if it happens to you? What are you going to do? The first few minutes are imperative, and then what comes next is where you might have to be, protecting your family and your house and so on.
Well, we got hit by Storm Benjamin, didn't we?
Benny.
Benjamin.
Storm Benny.
Benjamin. And I'm following. I'll have to have a look later where Hurricane Melissa is at the moment. Good old names that they give these people. Well, it's always
great.
male or female, isn't it? But I said to you, I was monitoring where it was supposed to be travelled, and it was going to come across the Nouvelle Aquitaine, the Aquitaine, and then down to the lot. And there's a plan. And I know these people say, yeah, they can follow these things and stuff like that. And it said it was going to hit my commune at about 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Not 8 p.m, sorry, 8 a.m. in the morning. And we'd had a whole night, hadn't we, of horrendous wind and rain. And it didn't just hit us, it hit the UK or parts of the UK from what I've looked at the national weather grid. There it was, 8 a.m. in the morning, bang. It was like anything.
Yeah.
And what was the number? Well, it said on my thing, 33 miles per hour winds.
Yeah, starting at 33. But you know, like we said, I would say, like I said, I'm not a family. Well, I'm a family man, but I don't have any kids or anything like that. But you know, for you families out there, I was trying to explain this to a friend of ours the other day, and as an example of like the power out thing, there's a couple we know are in their 40s, and they got their first little lad, old Mr. Magoo, and we'd only just been talking about, you know, like a solar emergency pack, and I'm not talking about one of them boxes that you can get, which are great till they go wrong, but his wife went back to Scotland, and when they got there, or when she got there, all the power was out and he was off for 4 days, right? And they're fumbling about in their little cottage on the loch, right? Hoping that the Loch Ness Monster's not going to come out and eat him. And fortunately, the locals all clubbed together and everybody helped each other out, which is super important. It's all part of that community thing again. But it proved that, you know, if that had been a week, you know, or 2 weeks, she could have been in a dodgy situation, and we'd only just been talking about this kit that we're putting together, and I think we'll do a video about it, because old Serge here, he's been right on it, and we got our first components today. It's not very expensive, so much cheaper than your mobile phone, I can tell you that. Anyway, but going back to this should have gone to Morrison's thing, this is all part of the digital trap, right? And what will happen, I think, will happen in the end is, like we said about before in our last little thing, you will not be able to go and you will not be able to buy nor sell unless you've accepted a certain mark. And that really is something, again, in biblical terms. So it's interesting how they're rolling these things out. And, you know, if you remember, you used to have the bloke used to go around with the old ticket gun putting the prices on things, and people used to change them over, didn't they?
Yeah.
They used to get £8 of steak for the same price as a bag of pasta, because they changed. The bloke on the counter didn't know what he was doing. So it's gone from one thing to another, but eventually all these people that used to work in the shops, you know, on the checkouts, they'll all be unemployed.
And all these are run by, as it says, you know, a company's going to install all these over there, and they're all run by a computer program. That computer program software has got to be updated. Somebody's got to program it. Somebody's got to maintain it. It's got to be maintained in 497, I think it said, stalls now in the UK and that. And I'm sure all the other ones, if they haven't already gone over to them, will have exactly the same problems. And again, it's all about this digital control.
Yeah, it's Skynet all over again. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Yeah. There's no way of getting around it, and it's just sort of part of the way they're rolling it out. But again, I think it's quite funny, because another thing we're going to do a little chat about is a tax problem that our old mum's been having, thanks to the Inland Revenue in England, where they keep chopping and changing the pension stuff for old people, right? So they're talking about making older people's lives easier, whilst they're asking people to jump through hoops to start creating tax accounts that they haven't done in their entire lives, because it was always taken at source. But that's another story. But this is all what it's part of. But anyway, going off this Morrison's thing here. Oh dear, there he is again. There she is again. Let's go over to, I've got a, I don't think I can open it up now. Anyway, we're going to go over to a little thing that we talked about on our last little chat. It's a very splendid castle in a certain country with a certain colour flag that you all know that I absolutely love. Isn't it funny how a lot of this up here also looks like it's part of this? But we won't go on that one. But Kate Emma, who's put some good comments on some of our little videos, our little rambles, she mentioned that her idea of what's going on in the yellow and blue is basically the 1950s, 60s, basically smashed up cities, abandoned cities. And I was like, yeah, you're 100% right, mate. Let's go and have a little look. So old Serge sent me a couple of pictures the other day, or yesterday, before he came over. This one, if Sarah's watching this, she's going to laugh. You know where this is, Sarah, don't you, babe? You know this bridge really well, don't you? This one, right, and this one.
Now we've got to relate these flats in a bit to the other picture. So what? Neil being ex-military, right? And we're not talking about you bods who think you're in quotes veterans because you were in for 2 years. My old mate here was in for quite a while, right? So as he said, he goes, and I'd love to zoom in on these. You can pause these and zoom in on them, right? Because I think it's very funny. First off, who the fucking hell puts a flag up here like this? It's like, what you do, you're asking for trouble, right? No, this flag has been put here, which, you know, it's brand new. Look, it's crystal clean as anything, right? Has been put there so that the mayors of the world look at this and go, well, it must be over there. And there's someone over there doing the old Ismo going, look over there, pointing with the rucksack at these buildings that are being bombed. Okay, so when you look at this building here, this is an update picture, right? I put in recent, I'm not sure what date it was, I put in recent images from, it might be an older picture, I don't know, but...
Right, so anyway, I don't know, it might be the sun shining in there or light, but that place looks pretty desolate to me. And then you pull up this picture here, and it's literally the same place, right? It's the same place. It's the same layout. Now, this here is all abandoned. Now, if you've noticed, if you can see, basically, I mean, I could put these all in a folder and people could download them, but go and look yourselves. There's very few windows left in these buildings. Well, I don't think the windows were ever put in the first place, right? This is brick. This has all been rendered up. What's over the back there? But that looks very, very much to me. It's not the. I know it's not the same place. So for any of you saying it's not the same place, right? But it's the same architecture, right? So this is a place from the abandoned 1950s and 60s, right? Maybe 70s, right? So we look at that picture there. I thought that was interesting.
That one was the other one that we said.
Right, now this is also a picture of part of an abandoned city. But when you look at this looks like something that's been, well, these are the identical imagery. So this is a picture from an official site that says abandoned Soviet Union cities, right? Which is quite a ghostly sort of thing when you look at it. And then you come up here to this one here. This is 2022.
Yeah.
Right?
And you've shown pictures of this one already.
Yeah, we've shown this one. This is the one where that girl's with it wrapped up in a blanket. These are the same places, right? These are old, knackered buildings that are falling apart.
The fireman one.
Yeah, the fireman
the
one.
one that you've put up before.
Yeah, the fireman one, and there's one with some people cooking here and all this kind of stuff.
And the reason we know it is because of the balcony structures and the blue window bits that are painted around the top. And they said, well, maybe they all did that. Yeah, maybe they did, but...
There's a great picture, and again, where all the look, you see the windows are gone, right? But not just the windows, there's no window frames in. All the window frames are gone. Where are all the windows? What do they do? Cut them out and burn them? It's the odd one or two. But there's a great picture, and I won't bother slotting it in, but where there's that woman measuring up the window, and Sarah said, what's she doing then? Why has she got convict gloves on? I said, well, she's measuring up for some new double glazing. And you can see that the area is this, right? Well, this, unfortunately, whatever way you look at it, is basically this.
Well, we got some, when you go out towards Rocamadour, you've got that big place on the left-hand side along that straight road.
Yeah.
That looks just like that.
Yeah, look at this one here.
Yeah, just like that.
Right, you can see my little cursor. Look at how the brick's all been eaten up. Right, look at these terrible old... You can see this is like brutal architecture, right? But again, one of the questions that we were sort of asking about this is, if they're and these cities are all over the world, right? You track down a load.
Japan.
That one on that island in Japan.
That was a mining city on an island in Japan.
Yeah, my question with all this, you can see this one's been cut out. This is the old Vanilla Sky here, right? Okay, this is from this says abandoned city, right? This isn't that holiday vacation one that we might go on, right? Which we're getting tickets for next week.
Yeah, they contacted you, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot to say that those people from the What's It site, they did get back to me and said if we'd like to arrange something, they'd be more than happy to help. But this has been cut out. But this is exactly what they show you that's been bombed. Yeah, but this is so. Here's another one here. Yeah. Look at this, and like Serge said, he goes, this front building has been pasted in, right? That is not the same context as this, is it?
Yeah, the same. If you look at the left side, sorry, the right side where you're going over there, it's completely different.
Right, so if you look at that and then the one I've just shown you, what is the difference? And again, from an ex-army point of view, if this has been targeted by large cannons, tanks, whatever, why again is there no
missiles?
There's no holes in the ground.
Yeah.
That's because this first off is from a different picture. Right, Neil said, what about a little bit of duck egg blue paint up there? Why hasn't that rubbed off? If this is real and it's been burnt up, this has all been done to create a stage set for people to run around and play at being soldiers. I thought this was, we'll show the What's It one in a minute, but this was a great one, right? I found this when I was looking for abandoned building. It says these blokes taking refuge because of everything that's going on. Of course, you got, little puppy. That's not, these two blokes sitting there. Look at this building. This is so old. Look at this old shit, right? And it makes you believe that people in this country live like this, right? When
we've seen videos,
we've seen houses, beautiful houses with swimming pools. People don't live like this. These are either a couple of actors, or they've just done them up like this, and they take this sympathy shot. Usual story. This is an up-to-date picture. Before we get to the one that we really we'll do the
tanks.
Oh yeah, this was a good one as well. A good old Rothschild's Criminal Reuters. This was a picture, and it says that Korea has been basically giving the the Ruskies these shells, right, to help bomb. Well, how old do you reckon this is then? I mean, this looks like something out of World War One, but they're making it again look like it's up to date. Couple more pictures, the obvious. These things here have been here for decades, right? This is not new. There's no bomb holes in the road. Usual old rubbish. Oh yeah, but they filled the road in. What a load of crap. The other one that you sent me, which I thought was a classic again, which we just said about with Sarah. These bods here, right? I mean, this bloke's got white trainers on, right? This guy's all togged up like he's the real deal.
Going out to Iraq.
This bloke's got a World War II helmet on, right? And then people go, yeah, but these, what was it said? These are the real heroes.
Yeah, the real heroes of the Ukraine war.
So they're sitting there, they're standing there in a picture. This looks like a girl, right?
And you said about the flag. We looked at the flag with the picture of old.
Well, this is the flag.
The Green Hornet with the
Green Hornet.
That's why I started calling him.
Oh, Zed Zelensky, right? So if they all look like this one here, I would say that would be quite a convincing shot. Except this is the flag with the writing on it, where old the Green Hornet, Zed Zelensky, had that picture taken in our last one with those two old tranny women standing behind him, right? Okay, well, this bridge here has been used in multiple pictures, including Sarah's favourite one, which is the brave soldier rescuing the young baby from the rubble in the romper suit that hasn't got any dirt on it.
Yeah.
Right, so that was a brilliant one, because he knew I'd like that straight away.
Going on with the rocket. Sorry, yeah,
The
missile.
drone?
Yeah, no, not the drone.
Oh, right, okay.
Save the drone. The drone's a good one. This
Right,
one.
so this one here, I thought this was good. So we got the old Dodgy sign there, you know, the little swirl thing. We know what that's all about, don't we? So this picture is called Freedom Square, Rusky Invasion, Spring, in the yellow and blue, right?
Look how crisp the flags are.
Yeah, see how crisp and everything this is. This
billboard.
Like, right, okay, so right. But what we thought was funny was this rusty old bit of drain pipe they've got here. Look at this. I mean, do you really think that they've got these spot welds on these? This is an old bit of drain pipe, right? Or I would say like a bit of exhaust pipe from a tractor. That's not a real rocket. Look at it. Look at those welds on there, right? It's all rusty. And then this label here, and you can zoom in on this again. It says, "Shame on Russia." I won't say what the word is in between, but it used to be a funny little man with a moustache, right? Why would that be written in English? Why would that be written in dreamtime.com? Why would that be written in English in a country where you can just about, well, I mean, you couldn't write what they write because it's all back to front, right? It's written in English, right? This is all fake. This is not real. And this was, obviously, it's an older picture, but again, it paints the picture of exactly what is going on and why. And like I said, going back to the Jarid Boosters thing, it's quite interesting to see what he was talking about how things can be manipulated very easily. Neil being an old photographer, old Serge here, I thought this was a brilliant one. This popped up whilst I was having a look. So this is 2023, right? And so you got this fuzzed out bloke with his blue tape on his helmet. And then you've got this drone here that happens to have yellow tape around it. So you've got your yellow and blue again, right? You got your silly little trident here. And you can see quite clearly, especially when you zoom in, that this has been pasted in. This is not real. This is not actually doing anything. And what I think is so funny is these little drones, how much energy does it take to lift like a small bomb, a hand grenade weight bomb? Yeah. Quite a bit of weight, right? Anything that's worth explosives is going to be fairly heavy, isn't it?
Knowing the price of the drones that the police force used that
I
was
great big one. So this little thing here, this is crystal clear and sharp. It's been pasted in. Again, this is not a real picture. The building just happens to be blue, just in case you didn't realise where you were. So then I showed old Serge this, right?
I thought this was hilarious.
So Neil goes, this is all CGI'd as well. This is ridiculous, right? Look, everyone's facing exactly the same way. I mean, what they probably did was they took a line of them like that and just copied and pasted them in. But when you look at this, right, this is from the Cold War. So if you think like, and we know a couple of people who live in Russia, including old Golden Boy Joe, one of them my best mates, as far as I'm concerned, top man, Joe Lynn, and they don't seem to be complaining too much about living there.
No.
Neither does Tanya, who was living in Holland and has moved back, right? Quite a long time ago, before all this bullshit kicked off again. And so when you look at all these, and then you look at this picture here, this was supposed to be a picture taken after the first run of things in 2023 or whenever it was. 2020, 22, 23. You can see again, this has been here for decades, right? And these are the exact same tanks that are in here that are from the 70s. Well, I don't know anywhere else where they're using the same vehicles that they were using in the 70s in up-to-date. What's it? So again, they're showing you that they are bamboozling you every which step of the way. I was looking into, there's dozens and dozens of empty villages. This one here was great. It's called Saving a City in Purgatory. And this bloke just happens to be walking along for all this rubble with his little... Where are all the windows then? What? There are no windows here. Look, they've all gone. What, do people just come and take them out? Well, they never put any windows in them in the first place, right?
There's no frames.
There's no frames, right? You wouldn't waste your time. This was a good one. This was some guys fixing... This is supposed to be up to date. Fixing a power grid. Well, again, when Neil said, Sergi goes, where are those white lines going on? I don't know. He goes, look at the state of this. Would you be mucking about with that? No, you'd probably get electrocuted. Look how old this building is at the back.
I mean, where's the main power grid coming in off of it?
Exactly.
As I said, those white lines, they look like they've been photoshopped in.
Yeah. Another staged picture. Here's our big picture of the tanks again.
The one with the blue smoke and then at the bottom.
Oh yeah, this one here. This is the sky.
Oh, it's not the blue
right,
smoke.
so
sorry.
this here, look at that. Look how
the
neat
sky.
this looks. This is another abandoned place in Russia. Apparently, it was some government building that was never finished. How many times do we see these buildings in the nonsense that me and Sarah showed everybody and so on in the past? And then this was a great one.
Yeah.
One of the pièces de résistance. So you got an old Toyota van, and it says here that these are Russian troops that have been captured. So you can see they've put cling film over some of their eyes, tape, all this, that and the other. Some of it's green. But the great thing about this picture, again, and you can probably see it with this guy's head here.
Yeah,
right?
zoom in on it, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, I
it.
can't zoom in on it.
No,
with this,
you can't.
This thing here.
No, but if people look at it.
Yeah, you can see these two blokes here have
Yeah.
been pasted in, and he's got his hands up there, right? Now, I'm not saying these blokes aren't involved in something, but they are not in the back of that van, which way you look at it.
And you've got a couple of good examples of these ones.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of good
Yeah,
examples of a bloke here.
Cut and pasting people
Like
in.
this guy here, right? I mean, come on. Okay, GP, Giorgio Provinciali, right? With his rather sad-looking wife, I think this is. And she's saying to herself, oh, please, Giorgio, don't do any more of this.
And
You'll
he's got the O positive. Is it O positive?
What,
yeah,
up here?
Yeah, stuck on the side.
Yeah, and his little yellow and blue flags. She's got the yellow. They've got the same thing in it, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah, really
so
good.
they're out here. You can see 100% that they are photoshopped in very badly, and that sign is photoshopped in as well, because that's not the kind of thing you see just by the side of the road. It's like a pizza place or something. I think that means pizza, right? So here they are. Anyway, this guy does a blog. I did a little bit of research into him, and I just thought it's funny that his facial expression never changes, right? I've only got 3 pictures to show you here, but this is another one of these alt media knobheads, right? Okay, so here's another picture of him with the same rather sad looking woman. And he's got no ears.
You see somebody's badly cut
He's
him
got
out.
no ears. Where's his ears? Nobody has ears that flat, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he's from, I don't know, Bangladesh or wherever it was, right? But anyway, here he is again taking his picture. So he's taken a picture and he's photoshopped himself in here. She's looking a bit glum, right? So anyway, he's got quite a big following, this bloke. He had obviously time to do his little hair, get his little old knobhead hairdo going on. And then here's another picture of him with the same face, right? Okay. And he's photoshopped himself in again. You can see that. And also, I think in this picture, he didn't have his helmet on. So he thought, now, me and Serge, you got all the gear, right? We've got these helmets.
Proper sub.
Right, and you cannot put that helmet on crooked that way. You see this bit here, that's the front. That has to be round here. So he's photoshopped a bad helmet on, and when you zoom in again, this is an old building again from like we've just looked at the pictures of. He's photoshopped himself in again. And his story is that he's not afraid to go in and show people what's going on. That's because he's not there.
Yeah.
He's making it all up as he goes along. You know, another charlatan, right? But the point of showing these pictures again wasn't so much to just keep going on about the same old rubbish, but was to basically say, look, these buildings are everywhere, right? And some of these buildings, I mean, look at this one with the beautiful pillars, with the Romanesque pillars, right? Maybe, and of course, what Jarid talks about is the Tartarian world and all this kind of stuff. Why do these things happen in these various places? I mean, look at this one. Doesn't this look a little bit like what we saw in certain areas in America?
Looks like Chernobyl.
Right, so yeah, so look at this, right? This place has had the shit bombed out of it, but there are no bomb holes in the roads again. Isn't that rather strange that as an ex-specialist yourself, I don't think that really happens, does it? But that's what we wanted to bring up again as a little update, thanks to Kate for talking about the old cities, because we knew there were a lot of abandoned cities around. But once you start looking, but the big question, I'm just going to top old Serge up and drop a wine here. The big question, when you look at some of these buildings and you go, right, okay, let's just say there were 15,000 people lived in this town. Where are all the people? Where have they all gone? So they got pictures of dinner tables with plates on, clothes still in cupboards, Old TV with a standard lamp next to it, still plugged in the wall. Old couches, tables, cars all over the place. I found some with cars where all the tyres have rotted out and they've collapsed. What, did people just leave and left their cars behind? What happened to all the people?
Well, we know even like some of the places that we've looked at in America.
Yeah.
Where they've just gone in and they've said, that's it, you're out. And they move everyone out and they don't move anyone back in.
No. Which is all part of your 15-minute city regime.
Yeah, one of the examples was of the glacial and mud landslide that I found, wasn't it? In Switzerland.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, wiped out the whole of the village. Took out the bridge, the infrastructure, everything else, and they I think it was one of the UK news people that put down that it was in March this year and all that, and somebody published on it, well, as I live in this village and this happened over 2 years ago and it's all been rebuilt in a different area, it's not safe. Well, maybe that did happen and it wiped it out. We know that type of thing happens all the time. We get flooded out up my end.
Yeah,
I don't, because I live so high up, but
why do they need to lie? And we know why they need to lie, because that is what their job is. And I would say, like I said, old Serge here, he said to me, well, we said this last time, he said, don't worry about waiting for 2030.
No, you wait till next year.
He said, you wait till next year, right?
And they're already starting it, aren't they? They're already starting all this interesting information.
Yeah, you wait till next year and see what happens, and and we'll just sort of take it from there. But
we must say a big shout out to anyone that's commented. Guy who messaged to say about
you somebody wrote on our last thing about, well, what about all these so-called deceased persons?
And I'll put some statistics down.
Yeah,
that I did the research on, which are all available online.
Yeah, and the guy wrote really a real nice message back. Because obviously what Serge was talking about, he's 100% correct about, because that was in his specific speciality as a professional in that field. But again, thanks to anybody, like I said, we're just trying to do our bit. I think Mark Devlin's quite a brave guy, because he's really going for it, and we know that there are various characters that have been various people that have been talking about things and are no longer with us. But it was funny, because I was telling Sergio about Mark's one again in Australia, where he was talking about two characters, and I think I probably got this one wrong, but Tony Steve, right, who's the bloke who appears, anyway, whatever this guy's name was, it's something like that, who appears after David Bowie went off to his own island, right?
I'm gonna have a look.
And and he was on UK TV, and he was apparently an agent. See if you can find him. I think it's Tony Steve or something like that. So anyway, David Bowie disappears off. You've seen him with his eye covered, androgyne David Bowie, his arm tucked in, his hand tucked in his coat, and this guy appears and he's on UK TV, and everybody goes, he looks like David Bowie, doesn't he? He sounds just like David Bowie. But this particular guy said, when David died, a little bit of me died with him, right? And it's like, well, there you go. Was it David Bowie playing? He looks just like him, right? People have seen that. The other one that was great was on the Larry King show, which was, what was his name? Dave.
Dave.
Right, so they bring out a bloke called Dave, who apparently was burnt in a fire. And you've got to watch this, because Mark does a brilliant rendition of it. And so this guy, Dave, who's this burn victim that Michael Jackson took under his wing, but the thing is, he kind of looks like Michael Jackson, and he has exactly the same voice as Michael Jackson. It's the same thing with Prince. Prince dies, leaves the realm, and then all of a sudden his sister appears, who looks like a dodgy Prince, actually plays the guitar magnificently, sounds just like Prince, has also departed the realm at 65 years old, just appears out of nowhere, and you're like, yeah, all right then. So maybe they bring him back for a short while, I don't know. But again, interesting stuff. But Mark's thing is really, it's right on it. The same as Mr. E. Mark. Good on you, Marky. I'm glad a lot of people. I'm glad that we were able to put the interview that I did with him, or the podcast that I did with him. I had a couple of knobheads over on his channel. There's one bloke in particular. I wrote on there, I went, oh no, not you again, right? And this guy was accusing me of trying to get people to our channel by saying that I'd got a podcast with Mark, which I have got, and it's on there. So a lot of people went to see that, so we thank you for that. We just, like we said, we're just trying to keep the thing rolling. Rolling. Just trying to keep it rolling. And yeah, we'll do another one about some of these things. Coco Schwab, oh my God. Is that one of the Schwabian Empire?
Well, this is his personal assistant.
Oh God!
Who he credited for saving his life, but I can't find that.
No, we'll find that one on this Tony Stephen.
Yeah, I'll
or
watch
his
that
name
one and we'll have a look.
Yeah, quite funny. But anyway, I think that's it, isn't it? Good grief, we're already done an hour.
Yeah,
yeah, we rambled on a bit. But if you stuck in with us, like we said,
stuck in with us.
Sticking with us. If you,
it's all relative information of what's coming up. And,
and you know, people, you've got to protect yourselves. You don't trust these clowns. Period. None of them. Right? None of them. And I'm going to probably have a chat with this guy Tom, who Sarah put me onto, who's got a band, and he's done a song with his band. Actually, it's quite well produced as well. It's not bad to track at all. It's a bit heavy for some of you, but it's called Godless, and he said that's the society that we're living in today. And I'm like, yeah, right on with you, mate, 100%. I'm going to go and crack another bottle of wine.
Is this guy? Dave.
That's Dave.
He's dead.
Oh, he's died now, has he?
2018.
Oh, yeah, see?
Dave, June the 18th, 1976 to July the 15th, 2018. Born David Charles Rothenberg.
Oh, Rothenberg. Oh, well, there's no...
and later known as David Jordan Robinson. Was an American conceptual artist whose father was found guilty of attempting to kill him by burning him in 1983. When he was 6 years old. He lived in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And he just happened to be chums with Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson apparently paid for a load of his... But
that's if it's the same guy.
Hey, that's him. But that doesn't look like prosthetics, does it?
No.
Come on. Anyway, we could go on forever with this, but we're going to do a couple more over the next... We're going to do another sort of live... Not live one, but one from Neil's place. And... see what else we can come up with. But there's some interesting stuff. Don't be surprised if they start turning the power off. You've got to protect yourselves. You've got to make sure you've got plenty of water.
Yeah, we'll definitely do one on the old solar systems, and where you can find the stuff. And we're not talking about solar systems for powering the whole of your house. We're talking about emergency systems.
Yeah, charging your shit up and making sure your fridge stays on. And that's it, really. So anyway, we're going to sign off. Have a good weekend, you guys. Well, if you've had one, because I probably won't have this out till Sunday. But again, as always, thanks for listening.
That'll be my birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to old Serge, mate. It's his birthday.
Dressing up as a mummy.
Oh yeah. We'll put a picture, and we'll slot a picture in what he's built. He's made for the old paganistic Halloween. So anyway, that's us over and out, mate.
Yeah, good stuff.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.